right, we have a movie with the title of A Family, so I guess we're going to jump into some family craziness here, and that it is. So let's find out a little bit more about this family, starting with the IMDb plot. It follows a seemingly ordinary family, see, with a dark secret. Oh, there we go. They are vampires, all right? No spoiler there. They choose not to drink blood despite their natural cravings. But their truth is revealed one day. All right. So, new movie here. Received the screener for this. This one, I know was just released a little behind here on my reviews. But I will still keep this spoiler free for you guys since it's a new movie. Maybe you guys haven't caught it yet. I will have try to remember to include the press release information down below so that you guys, maybe if you guys aren't familiar with it or haven't seen it yet, you'll know where to find it and so forth. And maybe some more details about it. So what do we have here? You know, I should say I'll keep this spoiler free for you guys since again it is a new movie here. I guess one of the big non-spoilers here that I just gave away is that this family here is vampire or are vampires, and so I guess that is a big thing in this movie. But yeah, we kind of get introduced to them early on. You see what seems to be a kind of typical family. You have the mother and the father, and a daughter and a brother. Both are kind of teens. I believe the daughter was a little younger than the brother, if I remember correctly, but still young enough. Or no, maybe it was the other way around. I don't know, but they're close in age regardless, though. I always get confused with all these movies, mixing them together. But yeah, they're close in age regardless. So yeah, the mother and the father obviously know that they're vampires. But as the movie kind of begins, the two children have no idea. They think they're just regular kids. They've been raised without knowing they're vampires, and just going about their thing. And as this kind of rolls on, we find out that the parents have basically put off eating blood, and there's this whole support group thing kind of going on in case you have cravings and so forth, or ever think about going back. And they live a very specific lifestyle, trying to kind of cater to not slipping up and not going back into being a regular vampire, the vampires that we all know. So early on, the girl goes to this party that's kind of an outdoor party, and she gets hit on by this boy who seems a little bit older than her, and she really wants no part of him. And she tries to kind of leave and wander off into the forest. But long and behold, he's followed her there. And he proceeds to then, kind of hit on her a little bit and so forth. And just be a little bit more direct with her as we go into the point where, she says no. And then he, begins to chase her through the woods there. And, as he finally catches her and has her there, and you think that he's about to rape her, all of a sudden her vampire instincts kind of kick in, and she bites him, and down he goes, and she basically finishes him off. But obviously she's then in turn a little in shock. What just happened? What's going on? And so forth, because she didn't know that within herself. So of course she goes home, and it's like, hey, with the parents, what is happening here and so forth. And then the parents are in scramble mode, like, hey, we got to clean this up. We got to, what are we going to do with this boy out here in the woods? People are going to look for him. Obviously they have to explain to the two kids now that they are vampires. And, that whole story there is with that. Um, so they basically call in the brother of the husband here, who is a regular vampire. You know, he's doing regular vampire things. I guess one of the things here you just kind of have to put aside is the fact that it's daytime vampires walking around. You know, I don't know at one point in vampire history or movies or whatever, we just decided that it's okay and it's a new thing for vampires to just walk around in the sun. But I guess it's the new age vampire, so definitely one of the things I question here, because not everything happens here in the dark and so forth. I don't believe they went through, you know, the whole thing about having maybe a magic ring or some BS like that so that they can be in the sun. But whatever, you know, we'll move on past that. And so yeah, the brother the brother of the father here comes, and he's, you know, still into the vampire thing, still biting people to suck blood and all that, and doing all these bad things, and he has all his vampire abilities. So they kind of summon him to come and kind of clean up the mess with the boy that the daughter has killed. With that, the two children basically have choices to make. You know, are they really going to embrace the, you know, obviously the boy, you know, it hasn't come out of him yet, so he's kind of a little confused. You know, does he want it, does he not? And then it is in the girl, and she's kind of a little bit more fascinated by the possibilities, fascinated by what she sees the uncle do here. The uncle definitely becomes more of a bad influence the longer he kind of hangs around. And then now that the daughter is out and so forth, it becomes a struggle again for the whole family. You know, who's, you know, can they continue to put off their cravings and so forth. So I don't want to say too much more about what, you know, then transpires in the movie, because then I'm really kind of getting into spoiler territory. But I will basically say, you know, it's kind of setting up there is there is the kind of that struggle of, you know, are they going to go back to their vampire ways? Are they not? And so forth. So obviously there's a family dynamic there. There's going to be a thing going on with obviously the uncle that comes. Obviously the kids are going to have to make choices. So there's different dynamics going on there. So I think really just, you know, for this movie, it's kind of the setup here and kind of seeing a you know, a film about vampires who are just trying to be normal, and then obviously, you know, it's a struggle to do that, and then when things go wrong, you know, how it's very hard to keep that vampire side away. So it's kind of interesting to see everything kind of unfold here, see vampires in a different way. You know, just I have a feeling, you know, we've kind of seen stuff like this before. Obviously, we've seen other movies with different creatures or monsters or whatever you want to call it, try to kind of blend in and be a normal part of society or so forth, with society you know, knowing or not knowing that they exist or whatever. So this is just kind of another route of that. You know, I think, you know, it has its ups and downs. You know, it's just basically a big family, becomes just a big family drama kind of thing, you know, with, you know, vampires. It does list this as horror comedy. I don't know. I guess it does have it. You know, some moments. I wouldn't say it's overly funny. You know, I don't know that. You know, I don't think they're really being silly. You know, maybe they list it as a comedy more because the vampires. You know, this isn't the typical vampire thing. We're going around trying to kill a bunch of people. There is, you know, a little bit of blood in it and so forth. Like I said, you know, the boy that dies early on. Gets bitten. There's a little bit more, you know, later on. But again, it is not hugely about vampires going out and killing a bunch of people. You know, I think, you know, each character has their thing they're going to battle with, whether it involves the vampire thing or not. You know, the mother has her things. The father has his things. There's obviously, struggle in their relationship. Um, the brother-in-law that comes, the uncle that comes over. There's issues with him and so forth, with issues, past histories with him, with the mother and the father, and obviously, like I said, he's going to be an influence on the kids and so forth. So everybody's going to have their own kind of thing here. It says here it's an hour and 55 minutes. So yeah, it did feel a little long. I don't think that you guys particularly kind of get bored with it, but you are just going to kind of have to sit through, like I said, each character kind of, having their thing, working through their thing, and their struggle or whatever's going on in their life. The movie will kind of spend time with each one of them separately on their own, dealing with whatever they're dealing with. And then you'll have the moments where the family's together, or maybe the brother and the sister are together, the parents are together, and, in that mix and so forth. You know, not the most exciting end. Maybe you see it a little predictably. Again, it is, a movie where just picking a segment of their life. So, it's not like we're going to have some great dramatic ending to this film. I think some of you might see it coming. So, I don't necessarily say there's any big twist or turn. It's just a matter of, kind of where each of these individual family members kind of find themselves, and where they find themselves as a family at the end. I don't think there's anything, amazing or spectacular going on there with the ending. I think you'll kind of see where the direction goes in the back half. So I don't think when it happens you'll be too surprised. So yeah, so if you're just looking for a family that's, and maybe, even though it doesn't say here, I think more of, like a family drama that's kind of involved vampires, this might be for you. Otherwise, I don't know. So I'm gonna overall give it 2 pools of blood. With my vampire stuff, I prefer them killing more people than are killed here. I should mention that there is a funny neighbor, and basically he's pretty convinced that this family is vampires, or there's something at least going on with them. And, he presents himself kind of as an odd character. We don't get to see a whole lot of him, but it's just he's, just kind of always there in the background and always kind of doing his own self investigation and so forth. So, he's, just an interesting side piece there. There's also another sad moment or two in it as well. So, you get why I'm surprised they didn't also put a little bit of drama in here with the comedy horror, but yeah. So I guess that's pretty much to be said. All to be said about this. I should say the acting is pretty good. I'm going to say at least 1 or 2 of them I think I've seen before, but I'm not really sure. You guys, I don't like going through the actors list and all that stuff. So you may recognize them or not. I'm not really sure. But regardless, I think they all do a pretty good job. Definitely some interesting scenes and so forth. So with that, again, 2 pools of blood, and that is out of 5. And horrorgory-reviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, written and video. Certainly mostly video reviews for a while now. So if you want, you can just like and subscribe and do everything else that everybody wants you to do here on the world of YouTube. But if not, it is okay. I thank you for your time regardless. Twitter, Facebook information down below, so feel free to join me there as well. And definitely down in the comments section, once you guys kind of catch this movie, feel free to throw your thoughts in there as well, or just want to reach out to me, feel free to do so there. So with that, I guess I'll catch you on the next review, horror fans.